How's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group. Today's topic, I want to go into a thorough analysis of a Forethought annuity and give my personal review on Forethought annuities in general, in particular the Forethought index annuity with income riders, and really go over the benefits of it, go over, most importantly, the cons where someone might get confused when trying to figure out the difference between what's my physical money, what's my accumulation value, what's my account value versus the income value that you might hear these fantastic things such as, bonuses or roll-up rates, and what are the differences between those two and how it could be supplemented into an overall plan properly. Now, when you're looking at annuities in general, or index annuities for that matter, it comes down to two major benefits on why somebody would place any dollar into these types of product lines. The first one has to do with safety, and the second component has to do with max cash flow. So when we're looking at an index annuity with an income rider, I'm going to go over a generic example so you could not only distinguish how this Forethought annuity works, but then how do you know whether Forethought is better than company XYZ? Or another carrier that might be better for a 3-year growth or a 5-year growth, whatever that case may be. So if we're looking at these types of index annuities, there's three main criteria that you always have to focus in on. It's account value or variation of that word, such as accumulation value. You have a roll-up rate, and then also you have a payout percentage. And these are the three ones that, if you ever heard the term hybrid annuity or fixed index annuity with income rider, those are the three main terms that you really have to hone in on, because that's going to see whether or not, a company has what I call smoke and mirrors, or if it's a legitimate good contract. So what do I mean by that? Well, the account value, this is the money that's physically placed within a type of fixed index annuity aspect. So when someone goes and let's say someone has $100,000 and they place it in with a fixed index annuity, we understand it's like placing this dollars in a bucket with a lid over it. Now, this bucket is tied to specific stock market indexes that are being offered through that company. So in this case, Forethought has variations of different indexes that they offer that is in comparison with this contract that correlates to this contract. So let's say that it was an S&P 500. I'm just going off of generic information because understand that these things change every couple of weeks, every couple of months, every couple of years. So we're just using a very simplistic example of an S&P 500, and let's say you have a 10% cap. Well, and you set up a contract in June 1st of 2016, and this was an annual point-to-point with a 10% cap. That means June 1st of 2017, let's say the S&P 500 went up 12%. Well, because you had a cap rate, they're going to open up that lid, pour the gain of 10% inside, and close that lid. So now your bucket's larger. The next year, let's say that the S&P 500 loses 12%. Well, rather than in a variable account that's tied to investments in mutual funds and downward market losses, the index, the fixed index component of an annuity, a fixed index annuity, states that if the market goes down, if the index goes down, you're going to receive a 0% gain. So therefore, that lid's going to remain closed. There's nothing coming out of that bucket. So that's how a generic fixed index annuity works. So when you're adding an income rider, that's where you have these additional features such as a roll-up rate or a payout percentage. So when someone goes and they place their dollars in these types of accounts, they have an account value side, which is their physical money. This is the dollars that if they pass away, this is what goes to the beneficiary. Now, the income rider that's attached to it creates a secondary account known as an income base. Think of this as a phantom account. Think of this as fictitious money. This is not your real money. This is nothing more than a calculation that the company's determining because somebody's placing their dollars in there to receive a maximized cash flow, a maximized lifetime income stream or income stream at a later date. Whether that later date is in 30 days or is in 30 years, it's just some sort of deferral that they're able to compute what this account is multiplied by a payout rate, and that's what equals how much lifetime income you're going to receive. So let me clear off the screen. I'm going to re-explain. So we understand if someone places their dollars with a fixed index annuity with an income rider, well, the fixed index annuity part provides that safety because any time that that stock market index goes up, there's going to be a gain into their actual physical money, into that actual account value side. Now, the income rider, this is what determines whether or not Forethought is good or company XYZ is even better. And when I compare that, I'm going to say company A versus company B. And we're utilizing $100,000 worth of monies. If we go and we understand that each accumulation, when we set up these contracts, you have the account value side and the income base side. So if we're just focusing on that income base side, how do we know whether there's a good roll-up rate and a good payout percentage that's going to make sense to go with either company A or company B? So if I use an example and I say that someone goes and places $100,000 with company A, and company A has a rollout rate percentage of 6%, and company B has a rollout rate percentage of 5%, and these individuals were to defer this growth, let's say this individual is 60 years old, and he wanted to trigger lifetime income in exactly 5 years. Well, in 5 years, we're just going to use simple interest for easy math. If he goes and he puts in $100,000, after 5 years, company A income account value is going to look at $130,000. With company B, that income account value is going to be what? $125,000. So when you're looking at this, let's say this was Forethought, you would say, oh, well, the income base is higher, so therefore this is going to be a better contract. I should be receiving more lifetime income at my age 65. And that's where the mistake is made, because it goes by what this dollar amount is multiplied by the payout rate, the payout percentage, and that's what determines how much lifetime income you're going to receive. So in this case, if this person's 60 years old, places it in there and tries to take out money at age 65, maybe Forethought might give them a 4% payout percentage, but company B is going to give them a 5% payout percentage. So if we pull out a calculator, we understand that $130,000 multiplied by 0.04 equals $5,200, or 5.2% worth of cash flow. Meaning for the $100,000 that they placed in, they were able to receive back 5.2% worth of income from that original $100,000 investment. Now with company B, if we utilize $125,000, which shows a smaller income base but a higher payout percentage, multiplied by 0.05, well, now that payout percentage is 6.25%, or $66,250 per $100,000 they play into that policy. So on the surface, you would think, oh, my income base is higher. Let me go with Forethought over company B, even though company B had a higher combination of roll-up rate and payout percentage. That's so crucial to understand, because that would distinguish whether or not you want to go with a Forethought annuity if your sole purpose is for that max lifetime income. Now, you could have contracts, or they offer contracts with the income rider, or they have it without the income rider. So if you have it without the income rider, you want to essentially make sure that you're being into a Forethought annuity that has higher cap rates and better indexes than company B or company XYZ, whatever that case may be. If you're placing the income rider onto it, the only reason why someone should be placing income rider onto their product would be to provide lifetime income at a later date and time. Rather than play that guessing game where they could place their dollars in a variable account and try to pull money from that account and have that risk of paying mutual fund related fees, advisor fees, and have that account go down, with the Forethought annuity or with the fixed index annuity with an income rider, they have that peace of mind that exactly in 5 years or 2 years or 30 days, whatever the case may be, they could trigger lifetime income. So Forethought could be used as a good tool, but my whole premise behind any of this is you don't want to just go with a random company. You don't want to just listen to, if an advisor told you, oh, Forethought annuity, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Well, you want to make sure for each dollar that you're leveraging for retirement, you're maximizing out how much of a benefit you could be receiving. So let me clear off the screen and explain that a little further. If we're looking for a safe, consistent growth goal, that safety goal, well, we want to make sure that Forethought is going to be the best offer as compared to the hundreds of different options, annuity options that you have available in your particular area. If you're looking mainly for the max cash flow, the max lifetime income goal, you want to make sure that Forethought is the best one compared to hundreds of the different carriers out there. So that's why the large mistake is made where individuals don't necessarily understand what the account value is doing, what the payout rate is, what the roll-up rate is, what the payout rate is doing. And that's why when they place dollars into a Forethought annuity and they're upset, it's because they weren't explained that properly. That's one of the things that we do is we make sure we try to educate you guys to see for each dollar, if you have a specific goal, first off, what is your specific situation? And then what is your goal? Does your goal make sure that it's covering an income source, meaning that if you're hitting retirement, do you have Social Security income coming to you? Do you have pension income coming to you? Are those two sources of income or one source of income enough to cover your retirement expenses? Because if it's not enough, then you have to pull from savings to make sure that you're supplementing that income properly. So if you keep living and living and living and living and living, obviously those expenses, you have some expenses that are going to stay fixed, other expenses that are going to be inflationary expenses that are going to keep increasing, increasing, increasing. So what we try to do is set up an overall plan, making sure that your income sources are completely covered. You're placing the smallest amount of dollars possible into those products that will provide the max amount of income source or the max amount of income that or the correct amount of income that correlates exactly to what your goal is. Everything additional could either be placed into variable accounts or could be placed into emergency monies. This last aspect is something that a lot of advisors try to dance around, and that's inflationary protection. Well, majority of advisors will tell you, oh, just leave your money in the market, and yes, we'll set up a little income plan, and that's going to give you level income. But if you have inflationary expenses, because inflation increases between 3 and 4% per year, and you don't have a concrete plan for that, then you're susceptible to that large inflationary risk. So with our plans, we make sure we're going through over hundreds of the top carriers, Forethought included, and multiple strategies before recommending anything to you and saying, hey, listen, based upon, and we utilize a process known as the Retire Sharp planning system that allows us to go through all the top carriers in your particular area with all their minutia and all their differences in product lines, and making sure that we have concrete strategy set up in conjunction with the plans so that you're leveraging the smallest amount of dollars possible into any sort of financial vehicle, but as much as necessary to incorporate that income source. Your emergency monies are liquid cash in case something was to happen. You had an oh my gosh moment. You could pull from monies. And then you have that inflationary protection, meaning that, let's say, you're 60 years old, at age 65, you're triggering income. And then every few years, you're going to have bumps in income. So that's stepping up with that inflationary protection. You're making sure that everything is sufficed. And what this allows you to do is have a confident retirement. Make sure that there's no worry in retirement. Give you that faith, give you that confidence to leave your job and say, I know that I could retire properly because I set it up the right way. And this is what we do on a daily basis. So at any point in time you have any questions, you found value in this video, and you want to know whether or not Forethought Annuity might be correct for your situation, or if there's going to be 10 other annuities much better than that. It's all about what does the analysis come back as the best possible route for your particular situation. Give us a call, 1-800-566-1002. We offer 24/7 customer service. We did this about a little over a year ago because of the volume that was coming in on a national basis. We want to make sure that we're there for you, mornings, nights, weekends, whatever the case may be, that a specialist will be standing by to take your call. We are A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau. We've always had very good reviews. We've never had any complaints. It's because of this methodical process of education first, making sure that you're comfortable and you're confident with your retirement planning. I want to thank you very much for watching this video. Please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Retire Sharp, so you could have access to the most updated videos.